Hello, and thank you for tuning into this week's Mayor's Update. As always, we have a lot of important information to share with you this week, so please feel free to share this video with your friends, family, relatives, and everyone else you think might find this information helpful over the course of the coming week. It was a little chillier this week. It felt a little bit like the early start of fall there, but don't break out the pumpkin spice lattes yet. We still have a couple more warm days probably before the end of the summer, and of course we always have those dog days of summer that happen in September. But even with the chillier weather we had this past week, that doesn't mean things are slowing down here in the city, and we've got a lot to get through in this update. We had the opening day for Jersey Mike's sub shop over in South Gardner at the Timpani Crossroads Plaza. Opening day was a massive success that was there. Speaking of Tyler, the new store's manager, a lot of people who were going in and out all day long from when they opened. They actually opened 15 minutes early because the people who were waiting for the store to open, and then ended up closing about a half an hour late because, again, the demand was there. I drove by around dinner time and the traffic was so much you actually couldn't turn into Timpani Crossroads parking lot. So congratulations on the staff over at Jersey Mike's for opening. Congratulations to Timpani Crossroads on another storefront filled. Everyone's been asking what's going to happen with the remaining 2 vacant storefronts over at Timpani Crossroads. There's actually a dentist's office who's being built out next to Jersey Mike's in between Joint Operations and Jersey Mike's. And then next to Verizon Wireless, there's a swimming pool company, the swimming pool supply company that's looking at coming in. So that plaza is actually already filled out. So it's great to see, so many people interested in that location over there and how much it's filled in the last 4 years. We're almost at 40 businesses for 2024 alone, let alone the past couple of years. So it's great that Gardner continues to grow and continues to expand what we have for our business community here. So congratulations to everyone over at Jersey Mike's. If you're driving by the fire department next week, you'll notice scaffolding being started to put up around the building. A couple of you may remember that on February 29th, there was a windstorm that blew the roof quite literally off of the fire department's building. The insurance company declared it a total loss and said that they themselves would replace the roof at 100% of the cost. So the reason why the roof has not been replaced yet is our insurance company was making sure that they had all of their ducks in a row, because we actually have no participation, if you will, in the replacement of the roof itself. It's actually the insurance company, the Massachusetts Interlocal Insurance Agency that the city has, that's contracting with the contractor for it, paying for everything, setting up the dates and times and schedules and everything. We're just providing the building so that they can put a new roof on it, for lack of a better term. So that is going to begin next week with the scaffolding being put up for the next 2 weeks. Over the last couple of weeks, they've actually repointed all of the chimneys on the building and fixed up a chimney that was quite crumbling that actually has a bunch of radio wire antennas on it. So that is, the chimney work is done. They're ready to start on the roof itself. They're going to be removing the entirety of the metal roof that's there and replacing a full new copper roof on top of that building. And we expect that to take between 6 to 8 weeks. So it'll be done within this calendar year. It just all depends on when they can get the scaffolding done, what the weather conditions are, and everything like that in between. But the fire department's roof, you'll start to see the staging up in the next 2 weeks, and probably the second week of September is when I guess they're going to start ripping the roof off to be able to replace it with the new roof that's going on in its place. So keep an eye out for that if you're driving in the area. While we're talking about insurance cases that the city has going on right now, we did hear back from the insurance company a couple weeks ago that they deemed the playground equipment that the tree fell on this year, earlier in the spring, at Over Case Playground, a total loss, and that they, again, we have to operate off of their timeline, off of their funding sources and everything like that, because they are paying for 100% of the replacements over at Over Case Playground. That is set to take place sometime in mid-October from what we're hearing from our insurance company right now. They're ready to move forward on it, but there's a backlog in playground supplies and a back order of those. So we have to wait for them to arrive and then get installed. So I'm going to guess by mid-October to probably early November, we'll start to see that playground equipment replaced over there. But we'll keep an eye on that and give you updates as those move forward and we have all of those things coming closer. The nature trail, or the bike path extension, if you will, over by Crystal Lake Cemetery is set to start within the next week or two as well. If you're in the area of Crystal Lake Drive, or from the area between the Greenwood Swimming Pool, the Crystal Lake Cemetery, and then all the way out around Crystal Lake to Park Street, Eaton Street, you'll start to see dig-safe marks that are already on the ground there too. That has already been approved by the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection, the Conservation Commission, the Mass Trails Grant people, DCR, and everyone in between. So the only thing we're waiting on right now is construction. So you'll start to see some crews out there building the new bike trail extension. This again will run from where the bike trail extension ended last year behind Greenwood Memorial Pool, down around the cemetery, through the woods, and to the Park Street area. Next year's phase will take us from Park Street to 140, and then the year after that is when the bridge will be built over Route 140 to connect us over into Winchendon. So a lot of work being done in that area of the city, but this portion right now will take us from the end of the Greenwood Pool, again, around the cemetery, through the woods to the Park Street intersection, where you see, if you're driving around the golf course, there's a yellow gate on either side of the road. That's where that part of the extension will be ending. So again, that'll be starting probably within the next week or two at this point. The gas company Unitil is just about done installing their new gas line over on Main Street by CVS and Walgreens and City Music, Hannaford, that area of the city. We are waiting for them to be done with installing that gas line before we move forward and pave that section of Main Street from basically the police station intersection all the way down to the Route 2 Rotary by where the new mural is. There will be some intersection adjustments there too. We're going to be fixing up the island that's across the street from Stasicalis and making it so that it's safer to cross the street there. We'll actually be installing some new yellow pedestrian flashing signs as well. So the paving itself might not be done until closer to October by the time all of that work is done. But again, we'll give you some updates on when that construction project moves forward. But at least the gas line itself should be done by the time this video airs, if not shortly after that. As a very early heads up too, while we're talking about Main Street, Diamond Harts Art Studio is set to have their official grand opening and ribbon cutting at their location at the former Wheel and Supply building at 112 Main Street on September 20th at noon. They are currently right now setting up where they want their studios to go in the first floor of that building. So again, September 20th at noon, we'll put a hold on that and other updates until that gets closer. But just so you have a month notice, that's when that ribbon cutting will take place. They're going to be offering retail sales of the art that's made there, as well as art classes for people who want to participate in pour painting, where you just take the paint and mix it together on the canvas with the way it falls and glaze it and paint a picture on top of it. It's actually really neat when you see it. So I want to thank the owners of Diamond Harts Art Studio for choosing Gardner to be their next home as they relocate out of Fitchburg and into Gardner here in the Chair City, right in the heart of our downtown. As a reminder, the City Council voted to declare the building located at 94 Pleasant Street as surplus, and that is currently on the market for the city for us to sell. The building at 94 Pleasant Street is actually famed as being the longest land court case in the history of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The city took them into land court for lack of payment on property taxes in 1992, 2 years before I was born, and we finally were able to take the property in 2022. So we are, we've gotten through all the processes that we need to do now, so that's on the market so that we can get that back on the tax rolls, so we can get some type of money from that property for the first time since 1992. So if you're interested in that, you can contact the city's purchasing department and they can walk you through the RFP process, the request for proposal process that we're required to undertake every time we sell land or buildings on the part of the city of Gardner. So more information on that, if you request it, is available as well. You can contact my office or the city's purchasing department. Rear Main Street will have its bid for Phase 1 opened this coming Wednesday, the 28th. The project for this includes the parking lot, the public park area, the food truck plaza, the water feature, and some other places, some other functions in that area too. Phase 2 will be the residential part of it, which will be some type of housing unit and parking for the people who live there. But the public portion of the site is out for bid right now. We're probably looking at a mid-September, early October groundbreaking for that as well too. And then just while we're on the topic of projects, we did get an update from the company that we're buying our 2 new fire trucks from. One is scheduled to be complete at the end of September, the other one at the end of October. So pretty soon we'll be able to have a new fire engine and a new heavy rescue truck for the Gardner Fire Department too. So a lot of the projects that we put in place a while ago are now starting to come to fruition and gone through the phases that quite frankly just is the pace of government, as annoying or as frustrating as that can be. Sometimes things just take longer because there's extra checks that are there along the way. But as those processes move forward, we're really happy to see things really start to get that light at the end of the tunnel. So thank you to everyone who's been involved in all of those projects. The last day for swimming over at the Greenwood Pool will be August 31st, 2024. The reason for that is that the majority of our lifeguards are college students who will be going off to college pretty soon. So again, the last day that the pool will be open for this year's season is August 31st. Shortly after that, we're going to be looking at, again, the process for tearing down the Greenwood Pool indoor building and building the pavilion in its place, but we didn't want to go through any of that process while the pool was open and cause any chances of any debris flying the wrong way or anything like that if it caught the wind the wrong way. So again, that'll all happen sometime this fall, but we wanted to wait for the swimming season itself to be done. We only have one concert left in our Summer Concert in the Park series. This Saturday, make sure you catch the Big Random at 5 p.m. over at Monument Park. They're a classic rock group. So if you're interested in that, that'll be from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. over in Monument Park. We also want to bring attention to this for incoming 8th grade students and families at Gardner High School. Come to our 8th grade Welcome to Gardner High School information session on August 28th at 6:30 p.m. at LaChance Gymnasium. Get your schedules, meet your teachers, find your classrooms, and get other important information before you start school. Again, this event is specifically for incoming 8th grade students. If you remember, a couple years ago, we moved the 8th grade up to the high school building. The same year, we moved the 5th grade up to the middle school building. So this is just for new 8th grade students at Gardner High School, and we look forward to seeing you there. And just as a reminder too, if you or someone you know would like to register to vote, the City Clerk's Office will be holding a special voter registration session on Saturday, August 24th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Perry Auditorium. This is the last day to register to vote if you would like to vote in the upcoming September 3rd state primary. This is the primary for offices like state representative, state senator, the governor's council, all those offices that aren't the president of the United States that will still be on the November ballot. Obviously, we had the presidential primary on Super Tuesday earlier this year. All other offices that are on the ballot will be have their primary on September 3rd, and the last day to register to vote for that is this Saturday, August 24th. So that's where we're having a special voter registration session. If you can't make it to that voter registration session, you can register to vote online at the Secretary of State's website as well. The Levi Haywood Memorial Library has some exciting news for all aspiring artists in the area. Our new beginner's drawing series is starting this September at the library. Join us for a 3-week series focusing on still life drawing, perfect both for beginners and those looking to refine their skills. So don't miss out. Registration is required for this one. And for more information, you can visit the library's Facebook page or call the library at 978-632-5298. Again, that's 978-632-5298. International Overdose Awareness Day and the Night of Hope Vigil will also take place this coming Wednesday, August 28th at 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at Monument Park, with the vigil service taking place there. And then immediately following that vigil service at 8:30, we're going to move over to Gardner City Hall, where on the front lawn we'll have our luminary lighting ceremony immediately following the vigil event. So again, 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at Monument Park, and 8:30 p.m. until it's time to leave over on the front lawn of Gardner City Hall. The 11th Annual National Night Out has been officially rescheduled to Tuesday, October 1st at 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. in Perry Auditorium. The event's going to look a little different than we had scheduled for a couple weeks ago, as it'll be indoors. But we know Veronica Patty, our city's prevention coordinator, and her team will sure make it a memorable resource fair that we'll have over in Perry Auditorium. Also, as a reminder, on Saturday, August 31st, the Elks Riders Lodge 1426 charity ride is going to take place on August 31st with kickstands up at 11 a.m. after the registration opens at 9 a.m. So more information on that in next week's update, but you want to make sure you contact the Elks if you're looking to register for that event. This coming Sunday, the Montechusett Veterans Outreach Center will have their 6th annual Jesse H. Stallings Memorial Speaker Series. That'll take place also at the Elks Lodge. The speakers this year is Ricky Bland, a 28-year service U.S. Navy veteran. And before that, from 5 to 6, will be Callie Stoddard Imari of Rally Sound will be having some music as well. So again, music from 5 to 6, the speaker from 6 to 7. More information on that can be found on the Montechusett Veterans Outreach Center's website and social media social media platforms. I want to say a special thank you to the congregation over at St. Paul's Episcopal Church for the work that they're doing on expanding their community gardens. They've been very successful here in Gardner, and all of the produce produced at that community garden goes directly to the Gardner CAC to help families who are in need in the city of Gardner. So thank you very much to everyone over at St. Paul's Episcopal Church. It's great to see so many people giving back to the community in that way and really helping feed the hungry here in Gardner. And lastly, just as a reminder, that the Enchanted Forest Fair will be at Jackson Playground. It's free this Sunday, August 25 at noon. And I'd like to close with something special, just saying thank you very much to my summer intern, Julia Taylor, who had her last day with the city this past week. Julia is going into her sophomore year at Endicott College over on the North Shore. As someone who started off in this office as an intern for the previous administration. It's great to see our interns really coming back to Gardner and getting to know how their local government works right in their backyard. So thank you very much, Julia, for the work that you did this summer and the help you provided my office, and I look forward to cheering you on as you can continue your college career over at Endicott College. That concludes this week's Mayor's Update. As always, if you have any questions on anything happening on the city at all or anything that was said in this update, you can always feel free to contact my office at any time, and we'll be happy to get a hold of you and get back to you with anything you're looking for. Thank you very much, and have a great day.